Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. I want to talk today about stress. Are you feeling stressed in any way at all in your life? It's a big issue for a lot of women in our 60 and Me community. And I mean, how do you define stress? Well, one of our bloggers, Elena Robertson, wrote this article and it's inspired me to sit down in the middle of a very busy morning here to talk about stress because I'm feeling stressed right now. And I want to know if you are sharing these same edgy feelings. I mean, tense, unpleasant feelings that kind of, accompany a negative emotion sometimes, but it can go as far as hostility, anger, frustration, or worry, and it lingers, it stays with you. Now, I actually don't have anything in specific that is making me feel, tense or angry or frustrated or worried. I just feel like a bit overwhelmed. And I think that a lot of people are feeling that way in this crazy world. I try to limit my watching the news and watching things that are going on in the world, but sometimes it just grasps me. And I think that's what stress is. It kind of grabs you and holds on to you and you can't let it go. And I think Alana talks about this in terms of the fact that stress stays with you as long as the issue has not been resolved. So it could just be simply practicing some really interesting techniques like meditation or mindfulness. And there's one that I've been using recently that I wanted to share with you because I think it's so powerful when it comes to dealing with negative situations. And that is very simply when we have a negative situation that's happening in our lives. It could be something external that we have no control over. It could be just something in a family situation or something that's, a personal relationship issue. And that is to look at it, the negative situation or the negative energy with neutrality. I know this sounds really abstract, but I was listening to someone talk about this on another channel, and it really struck me as an interesting way of dealing with stress. So when you have a situation that's feeling negative or stressful, to actually not respond in a fight or flight, like I'm going to fix it, I'm going to respond to it, I'm going to solve it, but instead to go into a neutral zone where you're not accepting that toxic feeling or that toxic emotion, but you're actually embracing it and giving compassion to it. And this is a little bit like in the Buddhist practice, meditation where you, it's Tonglen it's called, where you close your eyes and do your meditation, but you spread it out to the world and all the things that might be causing you antagonism or toxicity in your life. So instead of pushing back on the negativity and fighting it, to somehow take it inward and negate it, treat it as a neutral element. Even actually doing that has helped me to sort of try to calm myself down because I think I was just a bit overwhelmed by listening to the news, listening to some other reports of things that are going on around the world. And I just needed that moment of looking at it neutrally, not judging it, not saying that's horrible, that's terrible, and then creating more stress, but saying, I'm putting neutrality around it. I'm going to embrace the reality of the situation, do what I can. If I can do anything, talk about anything that's maybe helpful. But at the same time, I'm going to, find peace with that, and neutrality with that toxicity. So that's one way to deal with stress that I think is really, really interesting. And maybe you've got some ways that you deal with it. But signs of stress are everywhere. I mean, I actually feel quite a bit calmer now that I've talked about it. That's my way. I talk through things, but you can manifest it in all kinds of ways. Sleep. You can be suffering with insomnia. You can be having tension headaches. Your gut. You can be having tummy aches and irritable bowel syndrome issues. You can have back pains. You can have muscle pains and aches and even jaw clenching, in the evening if you're sleeping, night sweats, chest pains, blood pressure, a compromised immune system, where you get sick, where you've got infection in your body that needs some maybe change to your food that you're eating or the way that you're approaching your healthy living, ear and skin infections, colds, illnesses of any kind. And Elena talks about this in terms of this chronic stress that we get involved in that, creates dis-ease in our body. And that's dis-ease in the sense of uncomfortable and also disease, illnesses that we have to go and get to a doctor and get sorted out. So, our brain and our body work naturally to do this. I mean, this is what our body does. It protects us. It goes into flight mode when we are dealing with an unhappy or difficult situation. But modern life triggers that so much. I mean, before, all the social channels and all the commentary that would go on by influencers around the world trying to influence us one way or the other for something or another, we didn't have that. So our world was maybe a little smaller. Our stresses were related to losing a job, or having arguments with a partner, or having children be sad or disturbed in some way, and but now it's every day bombarding us. So modern day is really hitting us hard. And stress is like not a joke anymore. I mean, it can create minor stresses, like I've mentioned, where you can ride it out with a bit of meditation or perspective shift. But then it can be something more deeper and meaningful and painful as you get older. We talked about this with with mental health of older women, and I think it's so true that stress is the outcome to so much of this. It could be the death of a partner. It could be the loss of a relationship. It could be divorce. It could be being let go from a job. You're in your 60s. Your currency changes. You're not quite as valuable. And that's just been my experience. I mean, other people, deal with it differently. Getting in trouble with the law, personal injury or illness, unhappy marriage I've mentioned, in relationships, and maybe you're just generally not satisfied with your life. You don't feel you're doing enough. You don't feel that you are enough. You're beating yourself up for mistakes you've made or regrets that you might have. All this causes stress. So it's important that you can maybe pin down the thing that's causing you the most, that's bringing about the emotion, that negative emotion that holds onto you and gets a grip on you. So how do you start reducing stress? Well, I've mentioned one that works for me, and that's in the context of a meditation, where I just try to negate the negative and try to create compassion around whatever it is that I can, and acting where I can. Another thing too is to just reframe your life circumstances. I mean, I know when you lose a partner, I have not lost a partner as a death, I must admit that, but when you lose someone that's close to you, your whole life shifts. Everything changes from just your day-to-day activities, into the more intimate moments, to the moments where you are just looking for someone that understands you and knows you. And if you've been married to someone for 30, 40 years, that's the reality that you find yourself when they're gone. And so I think that the solution to that is to talk it through. And I mean, there's lots of techniques that people use in terms of memories and looking at photographs, writing down your feelings, going to a counselor, talking to a friend or a life coach. But at some point, and I don't mean to be black and white about this, but you have to accept what's happened and find a way to move forward. And it can take years. It's not like I'm saying snap out of it. That's not my message at all. It's more that you need to just accept what's happened, close the door in some ways. And Elena talks about this in her article. If you're going through something right now that's stressful, I would suggest you read her article. I'll leave the link to it, because she talks about these things in a very, very powerful way, and it's important. So learn to go with the flow rather than pushing against it. And somehow, in some way, accepting that life brings changes that are going to be upsetting, negative, and difficult. And again, it sounds so trite to even say the words, but it's, focus on the present, and find things that you can do that are going to make you feel more relaxed and more peaceful and more happy. And I know that's hard. Get out of a stressful situation. If you're in one that's changeable, in a job situation or a family issue, get out of it. Quit. Get the divorce. Do what you need to do to remove yourself from that negativity. Always, and then Elena talks about these practical things of having some money that you've saved in your own bank account that's yours, that you can use if you need to make a move. And that doesn't mean not necessarily just moving out or doing anything dramatic, but just doing your own thing to give you freedom. Have a few confidants, people that you can talk to. I know that's tricky, but we do have our Patreon group here on 60andMe, where a lot of people find wonderful support. And they've been getting together in real life. This is a global community, but in our Patreon supporters group, we have 5 people live in the North Carolina area, so they get together. Several live in Arizona, so they're all meeting. But that's a kind of a confidants you can share with. It's like the Avon lady, right? You don't want to tell the whole story, but you just want a confident, someone that doesn't know your story, doesn't know people that you know, that you can talk to. Take a holiday that's not too fast paced, something that you can do where you can just go relax. And then, of course, you can escape into music, books, entertainment, all kinds of online activities, virtual travel. I've got another article coming on that soon because I'm so into that as a way of just, experiencing something new. That's the thing. Another thing is to clear your clutter. I've been doing a big cluttering, clearing up recently. Again, it's like a lifestyle. And I found that even just clearing the surfaces can make you feel less stressed. So I've actually talked myself down from being stressed. I have actually. And I hope that you get something from it. I hope that you found a way to, look at your own situation with some perspective. Read Elena's article, listen to your heart. Know that we're here for you. If you want to leave some comments below that other people might be able to help you with, this is what we're here for. You've got some time now on your hands. Take advantage of the support and help that 60andMe can provide online, and then just try to get out into the world. I know it's hard, but take good care of yourselves. You know that I love you sincerely, and I would be lost without you. I look at the stories and the articles that you respond to, the comments you send for me, and I sit here for about an hour every morning just with my phone, with my recorder, just recording responses to your comments. And I don't have enough hours in the day to do it as much as I would like, but I do care about you, and I want you to know I'm here for you. Send me a note if you want anything I can do to help you, okay? Lots and lots of love. Take really good care. Bye-bye.